Romans 12:2 simply says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So in order for your change to come, you have to change your way of thinking. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me, are you ready for your change to come? Do you think you can go through the fire? Do you think you can weather the storm? Do you think you can press through your trials? Are you ready for your change to come? Do you think you can pray when you're down and out? Do you think you can give when your funds are low? Do you think you can trust him to bring you out? Are you ready for your change to come?
Welcome back to Be the Ram Live webinar number 16. I'm your host, Anthony McKissick Sr., Elder Anthony McKissick Sr. I thank you for tuning in. I hope that something is said today that will change your life in a magnificent way. We'll start off with a prayer as we always do. God, do it and allow us to see how you did it for us and for our good. In your mighty name, amen. So, the topic of my webinar, number 16, which means we're 17 weeks strong, if you've been following us, lesbians and gays in the church. What's love got to do with it? That's right. What's love got to do with it? Before we go here, I just want to do a small disclaimer. This webinar is from me, not from the church that I'm a member of, that I'm ordained and I'm an elder within. It is from me, and is my thoughts, not necessarily the thoughts of others. So I want you to know that ahead of time, and I don't want you, judging others off of my thought process. So I'm just going to talk to you today, just basically some experiences that I've had in the past 2 months. I have been working a night job as a security guard. I have a new one of my coworkers at the new place that I work, they said they need a little bit of help in security, and I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'4", about 250. Hopefully I can get that down to about a good 205 by 218. That'll be a goal. Hopefully you guys will see me there. But like I said, I'm a big guy, so working security is not necessarily a far-fetched. So the place that I'm securing, I would say, it would be a lesbian bar, MSR, in downtown Atlanta. Now, it can seem like a huge contradiction, and it's kind of like wow, you're a pastor or elder, and you're a man of God, and you're securing a lesbian club and a lesbian crowd. And, that would be one way of thinking of it, but I just try to find everything. Why does God have you in this place? Why does God have you here? Why does this God have you not there? What does God want you to get out of this situation? And I think that working there, like I said, over 2 months now, it's been probably the most influential thing to my ministry. And it's probably going to change the way, if I ever have my own church, that I manage things and the way I run things, because of what I've experienced from the management, from the patrons, from the onlookers walking by. So like I said, I'll just share a few of those things that I can tell you one thing, that the environment, it is very positive. It's very welcoming, very open arms. It's, I can say that I am the only heterosexual employee there. I am the only black male employee, so it's kind of like a double entendre. It's, hey, I'm the only one there, so I now understand how it feels to be the only one. When you're the only one, you have to always question, are you getting that look because, are you someone saying to you something about something you didn't do or did do because of this? Is this the only reason? Or is it really because, hey, you were late or you're not doing your job well? But, there's always a lot of unanswered questions when you're the only one. I can tell you that, I was under a misunderstanding, although I have members of my family who are bisexual or homosexual and, married, unmarried or whatnot. I still had a a vague view on what that was. And I have now learned, through talking and getting to know people that, hey, there are so many different entities when it comes to that LGBTQ community that if you didn't take time to get to know them, you wouldn't know. So the crazy thing about all of that is that when they come, I haven't had to break up a fight yet. And we all know if I had been working in a heterosexual club or a straight club, whatever you call it, I'd probably have to break up 5 or 6 fights a night, because we just come, looking to impress and looking to fight and looking to throw bowls and things like that. But I haven't broken up a fight yet. And I can say that with all those different entities, with the different, whatever it is that you describe yourself as, they come together and they're accepting of all of us. So I would say that, when it comes to the church, what does love have to do with it? Everything. I think love has everything to do with it. And I think the love that we are not showing is the problem. The love that we don't show in the church that we should show is the problem. It's not, it shouldn't be that the world shows us how to love. And I can be honest and say that I have seen in those 2.5 months a lot more love in unloving situations than I have in some churches. That is a problem. Not for them, for us as a church community. It's a problem that they're showing more love. They're showing more acceptance. They're showing more, hey, I see people out counseling each other and talking and doing this and hey, they let me work there, and I'm straight, so I'm the straight guy. So I'm the guy that's not like everyone else, but I'm still accepted. They don't pick up and say, hey, you straight guy. No, they don't do that to me. And there was a story, and it was kind of in the beginning, and me, I'm a very peaceful person. I will only go there if you make me, and then I'll come back real quick. But very peaceful. And there was a young lady and her friend, and she hadn't paid her tab. So they called, hey, security, get him. So I'm come down, and the girl was about 22 years old. They were in for the gay pride weekend, and they came down there from North Carolina, and it was a Caucasian female, and she was just boo-hooing and crying. I'm like, hey, how much is the tab? Well, it was about $50 in drinks, and they had, I guess had a good time and drunk and did whatever. And when they went to pay, or the girl went to pay, the card didn't work. So I'm thinking, hey, why don't you just call somebody? And she said, well, I'll text my granddad. So she goes downstairs, and I follow her because I'm doing, what they tell me to do. And she goes downstairs, and she says, well, I'm going to text him. I'm like, okay. It's 2:00 in the morning, ma'am, and if I had not been here, you can't text me and get me to respond to you. And I'm only in my 30s. So if this person is your grandparent and you're already in your 20s, that puts them up there. They're not going to want to answer a text. Most grandparents, you just call them. I said, is there no one that you can call? So at that point, she falls on the ground, just crying, just tears flowing, and just like she's in a panic. And I'm like, oh man, I hope there's cameras around. This lady's crying. The police finna come get me. They gotta did something to this lady. All of the above. And I say, hey, we gotta fix this quick. What is the problem? She says, let me call this place. And I said, hey, look, if you don't get this money, they're gonna call the police, and they're going to arrest you. And I can tell you this, that the Atlanta jail is not a place you want to be. You will not survive. So you need to get whatever you need to do. You need to get this money so you can close out this bill, and, go on about your weekend. I said, I'm sure you didn't come all the way from North Carolina to get arrested. I said, why can't you just pick up your phone and tell your granddad, whoever it is that lives down here, that, hey, I ran up a tab, my card didn't work, hey, can you help me out? And that's when she hit me, said, security, my family doesn't know that I'm gay. And I said, well, hey, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that your family would rather find out you're gay then find out that you're in jail and you're gay. She says, I just don't know. And that's when it kind of hit me. And she says, well, trust me, you don't know my family. I'm from the Bible Belt, and they're pastors and they're churchgoers, and they will not accept me anymore. And like I said, that's when it hit me and said, okay, what's really going on here? If this person is in their family and they love their family member, you know, why would this person would rather go to an Atlanta jail than pick up the phone and say, hey, this is my situation? You know, it's crazy how God will put you in a situation where you have nothing else to do but to tell the truth. But that's another webinar. But it was just the thing of, she would have rather went to jail than to tell her church going family members. So I said, what is it that we are doing as a church in a whole that would make a person say, I'd rather go to jail than to tell the truth? Something is wrong there. We've dropped the ball somewhere. And I think we have to fix it. I really think we truly have to fix whatever ball was dropped that a person would rather go to jail. Now, Atlanta is a real black city. A college 22-year-old white female says, I would rather go to jail than to tell my saved granddad and grandmom that I'm gay. That's a huge problem. I think we have to lean on, you know, what God is really saying to us. If you look at the things going around in the world and just where we're at, that the church as a whole has become a place where people are leaving and they don't want to be a part of it. And a lot of it has to do with us within the church. If I compare my experience there in this little small window to my experiences in the church, not a church, but the church, there's not a lot of love in some places. We love with conditions. What's love got to do with it? Which is the title of my webinar. Everything. How we are loving is affecting the world. How accepting and non-accepting we are is affecting the world. That young lady changed my life more than she would ever know. I said, hey, I'm a pastor, I'm a minister, and I can tell you that your parents will, if they love God like they say they do, they'll accept you with your problem, with your issue, with whatever you're going through. And we prayed that night in a bathroom stall, just that, you know, God will see her through this. Whatever it is that she's going through, whatever is going to the backlash from this situation. I haven't seen that lady again in my life, and I pray that things are going well for her. But back to our church, we, as a church, as a Christian family, and being a Christian just means that you are a follower of Christ. Are we truly being followers of Christ if we're so condemning? Because the Christ that I read about and the Christ that I think I know a little bit, he really wasn't as condemning as it's been put off to be. He was very open and loving, and a lot of the guys that he hung with were people with issues, and they cussed, and they were tax collectors, and they drunk, and, you know, they fought, and they had attitudes, but these were the people that Christ was with, and we are Christ-like. We are followers of Christ. We're not followers of perfection. Christ was the only perfect person, and he still ran with the imperfects. What are we doing to change the world through ministry, through love, through caring, through acceptance? I had to check myself, because I said, oh man, I'm open-minded. I don't judge anyone. Until it really hit me one night when one of the people there said, well, Coach, how do you feel now being a straight male working in a gay place? And the other person, oh, he's not gay? And I was like, no, I ain't gay. But then it hit me, it was like, I see that as an insult. So as much as I said I don't judge, I did see it as an insult. But I had to be true with myself and say, when they said that to me, I seen it as an insult. But how much more of an insult would I have felt if they said I wasn't a fornicator, or I wasn't a liar, or I wasn't any other issue? Would I still have had the same conviction? Like, no, not me. Like it's just some mark of the devil that's put on someone's forehead. So I really had to check myself and say, you know what? I have to change the way I think on a lot of things. And as I said, I think this was all for ministry. It was all to progress me, so that when members of my church come in and they have issues, I'm able to help in a godly way. There was another guy that I met, and he changed the way I thought. And he was obviously had some homosexual in his life. I don't know if he still is or not, but there's some period of that life when he'll tell you that he was out there. And when I finally took time to get his story and we did a webinar, he told me how he was molested at age 4 by men, and sometimes he would give his body so that he could save his brothers from being touched. So he kind of put his own self out there in sacrifice. So his ideal of pleasure was perverted from age 4. And I had to be honest and say to myself, had that happened to me, where would I be right now if I had been taken advantage of since age 4? So before my ideal of normal came in, it was already twisted. Then what if I still wanted to love God and I still wanted to be a Christian, a Christ follower? Would I not be allowed to because of my past? Because the God I know gives us everlasting grace and mercy. But is it conditional? No, it is not. What's love got to do with it? Everything. 1 Peter 4:8 says, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. And I really just believe tonight, whenever you hear this, that word love covers a multitude of sins. I don't believe when Peter put that, he meant it covers some sins, and it covers sins that we are culturally accepting of. Lying, lust of the eye, lust of the, gluttony. I don't believe that scripture was, okay, just these. I really believe that love covers a multitude of sins. And what if my brothers and sisters who are in the LGBTQ community wants the same love that's promised to them within 1 Peter 4:8? Should we not give that to them? Should we say, oh no, we love everybody but you? You're welcome. The deacon can get drunk on the weekends and post it on Facebook, and the musician can have sex with all the girls in the church, and this person can steal money out the thing, and this person can be messy, and we'll love you, and we'll accept you, and we'll let you come up and pray, and we'll forgive you, and you can come back. But no, not you. You walk funny, or you talk funny, or your hair is different. You're different, so you can't come here. That doesn't sound right to me. As I said, I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for my church. I'm not speaking for my family. I'm speaking for me, Elder Anthony McKissick Sr. It just doesn't sound right to me. And I think if we're going to progress as a Christian faith, and we're going to continue to build the church, not buildings, the church as a whole, the community. We're going to have to change the way we've been doing things. Everything around us is changing. And God said that nothing new is under the sun, which means these issues were there way back then. So if nothing is new, the only thing that's changing is the way we look at it. And we have to change with the world or we'll become extinct. Am I saying that it's okay? No. Because my Bible says that it's not. But what I am saying is that it's just as not okay as all of the other not okay things that we do. So we have to stop with that's not okay, but this is way not okay. You know, the two unforgivable sins are what? Suicide and blasphemy. It didn't say homosexuality. It didn't. So who decided that this is an issue? Now, if in your church you say, well, if this person is openly gay, they can't serve in certain areas, that's between you and your church organization. But if they're openly gay, they can't come or they get ridiculed. How can we win bees with vinegar and not honey? It does not make sense. How can we expect to grow the church when MSR, which is owned by a lady named Jen, a wonderful lady, her and her wife. I mean, I love them. They're great. Very cool, very laid back, a little bossy at times, but you know, they're cool people. But how can that place have more love than the place, the Love Center? It is not supposed to be that way. How can they accept everybody, including me, as a Christian minister and as a straight guy? How can they accept me, but our community won't accept you? Why are they practicing more love and acceptance than us? And why is there a separation between us and them? There's a whole lot of questions that we could talk about that answers should be given. We got to figure this thing out quick. I would challenge you, if you're a pastor and you're watching this, or you're a head of a church or a community, and you want your church to grow, just like we have Alcoholics Anonymous and we have other groups and support groups within the church, you need to open your doors up and have, okay, I'm a Christian homosexual and I need to be ministered to. I don't need you to minister to my sin or my shortcomings. I need you to minister to me as a person. What happens to people who get married in the same sex and they need counseling? Do you now say, because I don't believe in how you got married, that I won't counsel you? Is that right? Is it wrong? I'll let you decide. If you're counseling a married couple and one's an alcoholic, which is a problem because you're not supposed to damage your temple, do you say, because you're an alcoholic, because you're a cocaine addict, because you're a liar, I will not counsel you because you have sin in your heart? I don't think so. I don't think we would do that. I think we do the opposite. We say, you know what? You have these issues, but you're a part of me and you're a part of us. So we're going to make sure that we as a church serve all of you and make you the best version of yourself that you can be. If you want your church to grow, and you're hearing this is 2017, early December 4th. I'm telling you now, you want it to grow, you need to open your doors, not lower your standards. I'm not saying that. Not accept any old thing. The word is still the word. The Bible is still the Bible. That's not going to change. But you do have to change your method of ministry. 40 years ago, this could not happen. There was no YouTube. There was no cell phones like this. There was no iPhones. And this is ministry. And this is not the ministry of your grandparents' church. So if we're going to evolve, we have to keep up with what they're doing out there. We're not selling tapes out the trunk anymore. We're not a tape deck 8-track ministry. You better evolve to this 4K stuff, this Wi-Fi and this airdropping and all that stuff that we got going on, because you will be dropped off. So this is Elder Anthony McKissick on Be the Ram Live webinar number 16, Lesbians Engaged in the Church. What does love have to do with it? And the answer to that is everything. Love has everything to do with it. If you just love your neighbor, it says offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Above all things, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. Love the person, preach Jesus. Love the person, love your neighbor. And if you need to know what love is, 1 Corinthians 13. Love has a lot of qualities. And none of those qualities are pushing away or ridiculing and making someone feel less than. You're not going to win souls for the kingdom by pushing them away. You're not. It's not going to happen. So, on behalf of my Christian faith, I want to apologize to all those in that community that have been pushed away, offended, let down, hearts broken, confused as ever because of something that we have done, something that we went wrong on, and making you feel that you're not human, that you're not loved, that you're not a child of God because of one thing that we consider sin. So I hope that you accept this apology. I love you. God loves you. Follow me. Subscribe, share, and I hope that this blesses you as much as it has blessed me.